Before the Grammys. Before the sold-out concerts. Before the world started calling him one of reggae's greatest producers and performers. There was a young boy living inside a house where music never truly stopped. A house filled with drums, guitars, rehearsals, revolutionary conversations, spiritual teachings, and a father whose voice was slowly becoming immortal. That father was Bob Marley. And for young Stephen Marley, greatness was never something distant. It lived in the next room. But here's what makes Stephen's story fascinating. While many children of legends spend their lives trying to escape the shadow, Stephen learned how to transform the shadow into power. Not by being the loudest. Not by chasing controversy. Not by forcing attention. But by becoming one of the most respected musical minds reggae has ever produced. Early life. Born into music, culture, and destiny. Stephen Marley was born on April 20, 1972, in Wilmington, Delaware, USA. But although he was born in America, his identity was deeply rooted in Jamaica, the birthplace of reggae music and Rastafarian culture. His childhood was unlike anything ordinary. Imagine waking up in a household where international musicians constantly moved in and out. Where recording sessions happened naturally. Where discussions about African liberation, spirituality, oppression, and music were everyday conversations. That was Stephen's normal life. His father, Bob Marley, wasn't merely a superstar. He was becoming a global symbol of resistance and unity. Meanwhile, Stephen's mother, Rita Marley, was not only a supportive wife but also an accomplished singer and performer herself, known for her work with the I3s. So from birth, Stephen was surrounded by harmony, literally and spiritually. Music was not treated like entertainment in the Marley home. Music was medicine. Music was prayer. Music was truth. And those beliefs shaped Stephen permanently. Childhood inside the Marley household. Growing up as a Marley came with extraordinary beauty, but also extraordinary pressure. Because the Marley family wasn't just famous in Jamaica. They were becoming globally recognized icons. People expected greatness from the Marley children before they even discovered themselves. But Stephen's personality stood out early. Unlike some performers who naturally chase the spotlight, Stephen was quieter, calmer, more observant. He loved understanding sound, loved arrangement, loved rhythm, loved production details. Even as a child, he showed signs that he wasn't just interested in performing music. He wanted to build it from the inside. And that distinction would later define his entire career. Parents, the foundation of his world. Father, Bob Marley. Bob Marley's influence on Stephen cannot be overstated. Bob wasn't simply teaching his children melodies. He was teaching purpose. He believed music should uplift people, awaken consciousness, challenge injustice, spread spirituality. Stephen absorbed those lessons deeply. And although Bob Marley died in 1981 when Stephen was only 9 years old, the emotional impact of losing his father became one of the defining moments of his life. Imagine being a child and losing not only your father, but one of the most important cultural figures on earth. That pain could have destroyed the family. Instead, it strengthened their mission. Mother, Rita Marley. After Bob's death, Rita Marley became the emotional pillar of the family. She helped keep the Marley children grounded despite global fame and public attention. She reinforced discipline, spirituality, and cultural identity. And importantly, she protected Bob Marley's legacy while encouraging the children to create identities of their own. Stephen has often reflected the calm strength and spiritual balance many people associate with Rita Marley. Siblings, a family filled with stars. The Marley family is one of the most musically gifted families in entertainment history. Stephen grew up alongside siblings who would later become influential artists themselves. These include Ziggy Marley, Cedella Marley, Sharon Marley, Damian Marley, Julian Marley, K.Y. Mani Marley. But despite the fame, the Marley siblings shared something deeper than celebrity. They shared responsibility. Responsibility to protect the Marley message. And over time, Stephen became one of the strongest musical protectors of that mission. Educational background: the studio became his school. Stephen Marley's formal education was never heavily publicized. And honestly, his real education happened somewhere far more powerful. Inside recording studios. While other children learned through textbooks alone, Stephen learned through direct exposure to world-class musicians, producers, and live performances. He learned instrumentation, vocal arrangement, songwriting, engineering, production layering, rhythm construction, stage discipline. He wasn't simply studying reggae. He was living inside the evolution of reggae music itself. And by his teenage years, Stephen already possessed an advanced understanding of music production. That quiet mastery would eventually separate him from many performers in the industry. The beginning of his career, Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. After the death of Bob Marley, many wondered whether the Marley children would continue the musical legacy. The answer came through a group called Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. The group featured Ziggy Marley, Stephen Marley, Cedella Marley, Sharon Marley. At first, people naturally compared them to Bob Marley and the Wailers. But over time, the Melody Makers created their own identity. They blended reggae, pop, roots music, dancehall influences, socially conscious lyrics, and audiences connected deeply with their energy. Albums like Conscious Party, One Bright Day, became major successes. The group won Grammy Awards and helped introduce reggae to younger generations around the world. But behind the scenes, Stephen was evolving into something even bigger than a group member. He was becoming a producer. The producer, the secret weapon of modern reggae. This is where Stephen Marley's genius truly revealed itself. Many fans know him as a singer. Industry insiders know him as a master producer. Stephen became famous for his ability to preserve classic reggae roots while modernizing the sound for new audiences. That balance is incredibly difficult. Too much modernization can destroy authenticity. Too much tradition can prevent evolution. Stephen mastered both worlds. His production work influenced not only Marley projects but reggae and hip-hop collaborations globally. He worked with artists across genres and became respected for his musical ear, spiritual authenticity, and technical precision. And unlike flashy celebrity producers, Stephen rarely sought public attention. He let the music speak. Solo career, stepping out of the shadow. Eventually, Stephen Marley stepped fully into his own spotlight. And when he did, fans realized something important. He was never trying to become the next Bob Marley. He was becoming the first Stephen Marley. His solo albums revealed emotional depth, mature songwriting, and spiritual wisdom. Mind Control. Released in 2007, this project became a defining moment in his solo career. The album mixed roots reggae, hip-hop influences, conscious themes, social commentary, personal reflection. It earned critical acclaim and Grammy recognition. Songs from the project reflected political awareness, spirituality, and emotional honesty. Revelation Part 1. The Root of Life. This album embraced deeper traditional reggae roots and spiritual themes. It felt reflective, wise, meditative, almost like Stephen was reconnecting listeners to reggae's original heartbeat. Revelation Part 2. The Fruit of Life. Here, Stephen explored more contemporary influences while maintaining his conscious foundation. It proved he could evolve musically without abandoning authenticity. And that ability made him timeless. Relationships, marriage, and private life. One of the most interesting things about Stephen Marley is how successfully he has protected his personal life from media chaos. In an era where celebrities often turn relationships into publicity campaigns, Stephen chose silence, dignity, privacy, balance. Although he has children and has been linked to relationships over the years, he rarely discusses intimate details publicly. That decision reflects the Marley family's long-standing preference for spiritual focus over celebrity gossip. Fans respect him for that. Because mystery can sometimes create more admiration than oversharing ever could. Children, the next generation of Marleys. Stephen Marley is a proud father, and several of his children entered music themselves. One of the most recognized was Joe Mersa Marley. Joe Mersa carried the unmistakable Marley energy, smooth vocals, conscious themes, and modern reggae influence. Sadly, His death in 2022 deeply affected the Marley family and reggae fans worldwide. But even through grief, the family continued honoring music, culture, and unity. Other children connected to Stephen Marley's musical lineage include Johann Marley. The Marley dynasty continues growing through newer generations carrying the same spirit. Awards and achievements. Stephen Marley has won multiple Grammy Awards throughout his career, both as a solo artist and collaborator. But beyond awards, his greatest achievement may be respect. Respect from reggae purists, musicians, producers, conscious music lovers, international audiences. Because in music, longevity without authenticity is impossible. And Stephen remained authentic for decades. Legacy, the guardian of the roots. Every legendary family eventually needs a protector. Someone who preserves the original spirit while guiding the future forward. For the Marley dynasty, Stephen became one of those protectors. He safeguarded reggae's spiritual core during times when commercial music constantly pressured artists to dilute their message. He kept consciousness inside the music, kept soul inside the production, kept roots inside the rhythm. And perhaps that's why his influence feels so powerful. Not because he screams for attention, but because true greatness rarely needs to. Today, Stephen Marley stands as a Grammy-winning artist, a legendary producer, a cultural bridge, a musical architect, and one of the most important heirs to reggae history. Not simply because he was born a Marley, but because he earned his place in the legacy.